And welcome back once again, everybody. Jim Crane with you on a beautiful fall afternoon on the central coast of California. Today we're going to take a look at this neat little satchel, which is made in Northern California by a company called WestStreet Leather Company. And WestStreet Leather Company is owned by a fella named Drew Reyes. And I've known Drew for several years now. He has been building beautiful, high-quality leather goods for over a decade. And he's quite an accomplished musician, he's a sales professional, and he's a leather craftsman. And this is one of the latest products from his shop. This is called the Voyager Satchel. And this is kind of an essentials bag. This is something you're going to use when you want to go out and have fun. When you want to go have, lunch with friends in the city, go to some galleries or some museums, or if you're like me, you're going to go to a national park or some other natural place of beauty, and you want to carry your essentials. You don't want to stuff your pockets. That's what a little satchel like this is used for. So this is the Voyager Satchel. We're going to go over the dimensions, the build quality of the leather and capacity, and I'll give you my overall impression of it. But first of all, let's go over the dimensions of it. Okay, so this is right at 12 inches wide, and it is about 10 inches tall, and at the widest it's about 4¼ inches deep. Okay, and the leather used is a natural undyed full grain veg tanned leather, and it reminds me very much of like an undyed latigo or a harness leather, because the flesh side is not loose. It's got a nice tight grain. So this satchel was designed after the Mk7 bags, which were used extensively during World War II by the British. The British troops, as well as British citizens, carried the Mk7 bag to carry their gas mask in for emergencies. And all of the design cues, the cuts like that, the dimensions are taken right from the Mk7 bag. You might recognize the Mk7 bag from the Indiana Jones movies. It's the bag that Indiana Jones uses as he's running through the scenes. He's got a canvas version. That's the original versions of these bags, the Mk7s. But this is a beautiful, handmade, hand-cut, full leather version of the Mk7, something I've never seen before. So I was really quite excited to get my hands on it and review it for you and take a look at it. So we know the dimensions. Let's take a look at the leather. It is a nice thick leather, and let's go ahead and measure that for you real quick, okay? So the leather used for the body of the bag is an 8 to 9 ounce leather, okay? And the shoulder strap is a thicker leather. The shoulder strap is an 11 ounce leather, and that's definitely a harness leather. So the thickness of the leather is perfect for me. If it were thinner, the bag would be kind of flimsy. If it were thicker, it would look beautiful, but it would become unwieldy after a while and heavy, and you probably wouldn't want to carry it with you whenever you go out. But something like this, it's just perfect in dimensions and weight. It's something you're going to grab every time you walk out the door if you're going to go and have fun. Let's take a look at the components that Drew has put into the bag. So we have a 1 inch wide harness leather that is 11 ounce in thickness, which is perfect for a shoulder strap. And that is secured using a hand-peened copper burr rivet. The shoulder pad itself, it doesn't include a closed cell foam in it, but it doesn't need it in this application because the bag's not going to get that heavy. It's not going to have your full-size 15-inch laptop in it and your file folders and legal briefs and that kind of thing. This is for having fun. So it is wide, so it's going to distribute the weight across your shoulder quite evenly, and it's nice and long, so as this bends over your shoulder, you've got protection from the strap over your chest as well as your shoulder blade. The shoulder strap is got a lot of adjustability in it. It can go from 40 inches out to 50 inches, and Drew has thoughtfully put these elongated buckle pin holes in to ease the access of the buckle pin if you're going to do a quick change from over the shoulder to crossbody. The hardware is solid cast brass, so there's nothing to break on that. And there's a nice leather keeper here for the excess strap, and that is stitched in. And we've got some solid brass lobster claw clasps that Drew has used that swivel, so you're not going to get any binding as you're carrying it. And one of the really nice details that I like that Drew has incorporated into this bag is this leather ribbon as a hold down point for the solid cast brass D-ring. He could have used a hidden strap or something not quite as attractive, but this is kind of whimsical. I like the look of it. I think Drew was having fun when he did that. It's as solid as can be, but I like that detail. I love little details like that in a bag. He could have easily attached the shoulder strap to the side gusset. I'm not a fan of that. Probably 90% of bags are built that way, but when you do that, the metal bits of the strap usually rub against this top part of the storm flap, and you kind of wear a little crescent into it after a while, which is not very attractive. I do like the fact that Drew has used the hand-peen copper burr rivets, and he's put the pretty side on the outside of the bag, giving the bag a nice overall finished look, and then the business end of that burr rivet is on the inside of the bag. The grab handle is also attached to the back panel, which is unusual in a small satchel. Usually the grab handle is attached to the top of the bag here, and then the top of the bag kind of gets this bow in it after a while, kind of unattractive. That's never going to happen when you attach the handle like Drew has attached it here. This is, again, veg tanned leather, so it's always going to maintain this structure. No matter how long you have the bag, it's going to develop a beautiful, deep, dark, rich patina, but the structure will remain intact. So this isn't just going to flop down after a while. So we've got a nice full-length magazine pocket on the back of the bag, and it is full-length and a 3/4 depth. You can put all kinds of things in there, your park pass, your trail map, your cell phone, which is the way I use it, your boarding pass, receipts, whatever you need to stuff in there. You can see the beautiful characteristics of the leather here. You're going to see range marks and characteristics on an undyed product like this. Dyes are when they finish with a colorway, it covers over a lot of those things. But on this bag, as you use it and carry it, you're going to develop an honest and original and genuine patina on this bag, and all of those little characteristics are going to pop out and just look beautiful. We have an embossed logo here. This is the only one on the outside of the bag, and this is where your body is. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't like logos, you don't have to worry about that. I like logos. When someone comes up to me, they always ask what bag I'm carrying, and I always like to point to the logo and say, this is the maker right here. There are other logos on this bag. Drew is justifiably proud of his products, but they're hidden, and you get the fun of finding them for the first several minutes of your ownership. Okay, let's go around to the front of the bag. The bag is secured using lift the dot fasteners. The original MK7 bags, they used little snaps, but Drew has chosen these lift the dots. I love these things. They've been around for a century. They are what held the curtains back in a horse-drawn buggy. During World War II, the US military as well as the British used them extensively in satchels and ammo bags and shell casings or shell bags and all kinds of products. And the reason they used them is because they're indestructible. They will pop forever. You never have to worry about them breaking or failing. Some people think they look kind of military or urban. Doesn't bother me one iota. I love them. You get quick access to your bag. The inside of the storm flap, again, you have this nice firm flesh side, which is quite beautiful, quite lovely. The bag is fully saddle stitched. So if you're not familiar with saddle stitching, on a satchel, it's my preference, and it's the preference of people who are leather goods fanciers. A saddle stitch is virtually indestructible. What happens is you pass the thread through the hole. You have a needle on each end of the thread, and each needle passes through the same hole twice. The beauty of that is you get a nice tight stitch on the outside and you get an equally tight auxiliary stitch on the inside. If this were a machine stitch, you'd have a nice tight stitch on the outside, and then the bobbin thread would hold that stitch in place. But the bobbin side is not as secure. So on a saddle stitch like this, if you had an accident and a sharp piece of metal cut one of your stitches, the whole bag isn't going to unravel like if it were a machine stitch. And it's easy to repair a saddle stitch. You don't have to unstitch the whole bag and restitch it. You can make an on-the-spot repair. Drew has chosen to use a very nice thick polyester thread in his build, and that gives you the peace of mind of knowing that you're not going to have any failures when you're carrying this bag. It's saddle stitched, it's nice thick thread, so that's something you don't have to worry about when you're carrying the bag. And on the gusset, Drew has overstitched, and then he has backstitched at the terminus. So again, you have that peace of mind knowing you're not going to have any stitch failures in one of Drew's products. So underneath we have these little finger straps that Drew has attached the posts to, and you want to use that if the bag is not very full to close your lift the dot fasteners like that. If you have the bag full of stuff, there's enough pressure on the inside of the bag so that you can close the lift the dots without using the little finger straps. So let's go ahead and look at the capacity of the bag. We've got some sunglasses in there, we've got your wallet that you can carry in there, business card case, your cables, chargers, and cords for your iPad or your Kindle. There is your Kindle in a pocket in the back. Leather journal, plenty of room. This is my little possibles bag I use for first aid and other little items that I'm going to need throughout the day. There's a built-in key leash on a leather lanyard. So if you don't want to carry your keys in your pocket, or you don't want to put this on your belt loop, you can use the built-in leather key leash. It's a little brushed stainless steel swivel snap that he's used. The back pocket, Drew has pre-puckered and then stitched it on. That's important with veg-tanned leather because veg-tanned leather is not going to stretch. If this bag were made from chrome tanned, as you stuff that pocket several times, that chrome tanned leather is going to stretch out and give you that pucker. But on a veg-tanned bag, Drew had to engineer that into the pocket. And the way you do that is the leather piece that you're going to use for the that you're going to stitch in for your pocket, you just stitch that in a smaller footprint, and that gives you that pucker. Takes a little forethought, little engineering, a little extra time to build that in, but it's a very nice detail. The back grab handle and the shoulder straps are attached to the bag using this leather spine that Drew has stitched and riveted in. So you're not going to have to worry about a failure as you're lifting this bag up and down for many, many years to come. Each bag is serial numbered, and this is number 3 in the lineup. Okay, so beautiful hand burnished edges everywhere on the bag. So you're going to have, as you're handling the bag, you're going to have that nice luxury feel of that hand burnishing as you're using it. Very nice detail. Requires a lot of time. The bag itself requires a lot of time because it's hand cut, hand punched, hand stitched, hand burnished, hand finished. And all of that requires time. It's not like Drew can pop one of these out on a couple hours on his workbench in his leather shop. It takes several days to build one of these, so just be aware of that. So nice little everyday satchel for fun. A lot of people can use it for business as well. You might want to do that. But if you want something that's really high quality, that's going to last you virtually forever, it's virtually indestructible and made from a gorgeous, beautiful, silky leather like this, you might want to pick one of these up. This bag comes in 3 colorways. This undyed natural, it comes in a buck brown harness as well as a russet harness. Okay, so I thank you for watching, everybody. I've got some other reviews coming up, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.